welcome. My name is Ren, W-R-E-N, aka BL Compilations. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And welcome to the live. We're going to chat about one of my all-time favorite things, BL. So if you have personal questions, you can type them into the chat. There are very few personal questions that I will not answer. So you can ask me questions. You can ask questions about BL we can chat about. I do have a list of some of my favorite steamy scenes with timings. So we will get into that at some point. I'm going to try my best to monitor the chat. I've mentioned before that I'm not the best at multitasking, but I will try my best to keep an eye on the chat. So welcome, welcome. So I think the first thing is, I don't see any questions yet. So I'll ask a question. Oh, there's a heart. Thank you. I'll ask a question. What are you all watching and enjoying right now? So what of the currently airing series? Yes, I have I have my plaque up. Look at that. It's also held up by my love mix-up. If you saw my posts, I went on vacation and found a comic book store and bought my love mix-up. Volume 6, which the series does not cover. So they only had Volume 1 and Volume 6, and I went with 6 because I figured the first one was covered in the series, right? So Playboyy the series you're enjoying. Nice. It's quite different. I have to say, I have to give it to them for doing something very, very different from what we've seen. Last Twilight and the Sign. Cool. I'm caught up with The Sign. I just watched the second episode, right? Today. Last Twilight, I'm behind a few episodes. I'm kind of waiting for them to accumulate a bit, and then I'm going to binge Last Twilight, I think. How am I keeping up from Chaz? How am I keeping up with the nearly 20? I know, we have almost 20 shows right now. I'm so behind this week. So I'm mostly keeping up with all of the series, but some of them I am kind of letting accumulate and then I will binge them. Generally, well, it depends how long I can wait. Sometimes I can't wait very long before I binge. So normally though, if I can wait until the second to last episode, then I can watch that one and then wait a few days and watch the final one. So overall, I'm keeping up with most of them though. Pit Babe. Yes, Pit Babe's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's entertaining. I was really surprised though. When it was, I think, 2 minutes in and they used the word alpha, and I thought I heard it wrong. So I actually went back. And then later they were talking about pheromones, and I thought, hold on, what's going on here? But, you know, it's cool. It's fiction. Let's go for it. And I know they removed some of the Omegaverse things. Although I'm kind of looking forward to the first series that goes all in with that. Let's see. Corey likes Last Twilight, Pit Babe, Playboyy. I see a lot of Pit Babe, Playboyy, Middleman's Love, Pit Babe, My Dear Gangster Oppa. Haven't watched any of this week's episodes. Yes, they all seem to air on the same 2 or 3 days of the week. This is the face behind the channel. Yes, it is. Oh, it's past midnight. Well, thank you for staying up. That's late for me. I'm not a night owl. I'm not really a night owl, and I'm not really a morning person. I don't know. I need a lot of sleep. So favorites right now: Last Twilight, The Sign, Pit Babe. Pleasantly surprised by For Him. Yes, I was pleasantly surprised by For Him as well. Although I did really enjoy Unforgotten Night. I watched it on double speed though, but it was really fun. I enjoyed it, and it's the same production company, but it's a bit different, I think, than for him is different than Unforgotten Night. It was a good first episode. I'm looking forward to the black nail polish. That needs to make an appearance at some point. From 1 to 10, how much would I rate the sign? I think on my drama list, I gave the first episode an 8.5. I'd stick with an 8.5 after the second episode. It could definitely go higher, depending on how the plot goes and the character actions and things. But I'd say it was a solid 8.5 for me. What about for him? What do you think about it? What do I think about for him? I enjoyed the first episode. I might have given that one an 8. I think I gave that one an 8 on MDL. I enjoyed it. I enjoy a character that's sassy and, you know, knows what they want and goes for it. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Hello. Where can you watch for him? So, I think the only official platform is IQIYI. I don't know if you're supposed to say that as a word, but that's the letters spelled out. I think that's the only official platform for it. And it might also be region restricted, so you might need to use a VPN. I know the US works, so you might have to use a VPN though to watch it. Corey asked, am I going to put out a best worst list of 2023? What kind of form do you want this list to be in? You mean like a video of the best of 2023? I almost thought about making some kind of award video compilation. So, you know, I would do different categories. And it would be, I mean, obviously this is super subjective. But it could be, you know, the best kiss of 2023 and the best piggyback ride of 2023 and the best sponge bath of 2023. I don't know, that might be kind of fun. So that's an idea. I don't generally do negative type videos, so I probably won't do a video that's the worst of 2023. But there were a few I did not enjoy personally. Hayan said, you're the only girl I look for on MDL. Oh, thank you. I think I have written reviews of every BL series from summer of 2021 until now, I think. There might be a couple here and there that I might have missed, but if it has an official international release with English subtitles from the summer of 2021, I probably have a review written on it. Claire said, I feel the production quality of the sign is great, and Billy's such a great actor. Really glad to see him back. Yes. That was over a year, wasn't it? From Skoi? Is that Secret Crush on You? I think it's been about a year. So, yeah, it's great. And I'm not someone, I mean, there are ships that I enjoy seeing working together. I'm excited for the new Yin War series that hopefully will be coming in 2024. There's supposed to be a pilot that's premiering, I think, in a few hours, actually. So I'm excited about that. But I also enjoy seeing actors with other actors, too. So the Book Huntress, you pronounce it, is she? Oh, for IQIYI? Is that how it's supposed to be pronounced? She. Aishi? Does that sound right to everyone? I think so. That is in my head, not how that was. I mean, that probably makes sense. That makes sense, but I don't even know. Because it's a Q. So I was thinking Aikiwi, but yeah, that's obviously it's not. It's obviously not that. I'll probably just keep saying IQIYI. This is like when my dad said he was getting into this new band called REM. And I thought, who are you talking about? I realized he meant REM. So sometimes it matters. Minnie Boo said, I love your videos. You're doing a great job. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. Of course, an award show. I'd have some fun categories. I would have some fun categories. I'll write it down. I just kind of thought about it in this last week. The 2023 best of compilation video. So it'd be around 5 minutes. Minnie Boo said, I wish you all the best. Thank you. Ganmi Arwa, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Do I watch Western BL series? I do. There aren't very many, though, unfortunately. So Heartstopper, I enjoyed. I watched both seasons of that. And then we have Young Royals. I think the 3rd season is supposed to air maybe January or February. I think it's going to air in the next couple of months. So I'm looking forward to that. But there aren't really that many series. There's, I think, a little bit more movies. So there was Red, White, and Royal Blue. I enjoyed that one. And then I feel that there was some other movies recently. Maybe? Chaz said, I would love it if you were to add reviews on MDL of your top 10 or so older BLs you enjoy my reviews. Okay. Favorite older BLs reviews. So I did think about spending some time and going back pre-2021 summer and adding reviews on MDL, but the thing is, a lot of them have a lot of reviews. And then the other problem is that I watched them a long time ago. And by long time ago, I mean 3 years ago. But I've seen hundreds of things in those 3 years. So I can't remember them super well. And if I write a review, I really want to, have watched it recently and be able to give an accurate, for me, I guess, it's review. So, but I wrote it down. I'll look into it. I did think about going back through and adding some, especially some of my favorite ones. Yes, you can watch series where you're mentioning, but try to support the official platforms, everybody. I know it can get costly. Academic Purple said, not a fan of ships, but the closest I have been to one is Jimmy C. Those two are adorable. Yes, I agree. I am enjoying Last Twilight, but as I mentioned, I'm waiting for a few episodes and then I'll watch them all together. My first BL series was, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. This question is from Minnie Boo. Sotis? I saw it on Netflix. I don't know why, but Netflix has almost no BL series, at least in the US. It's very sad. So Netflix, get on it. But it was a recommendation. I probably was watching some other romance series. I really enjoy rom-coms and romance. And I saw it, so I watched it, and I didn't realize there was a whole genre called BL until that point. And then, so I did some research, and I found out there were a bunch more series. So then I just flung myself down the rabbit hole and watched a lot. I watched a lot. And then the reason why I do compilations, that I started noticing kind of tropes. So I started making image compilations, and then some things don't work very well in images. You need video. So then I started the YouTube channel. Chas asked, do I have any older comfort BLs that I will rewatch? Older comfort BLs. I do rewatch things, but generally not the series that are long. So not the 12 episode series. So that kind of knocks all of Thailand out. So I would say I normally rewatch the things from South Korea quite a bit. And I think I've watched the Game Boys movie more than once. But from South Korea, I've rewatched Where Eyes Linger. I don't know if that's exactly comfort because it has some kind of serious parts in it. You Make Me Dance, I've rewatched. There's probably a bunch more I've rewatched. I've rewatched Semantic Error. Let's see. Yummy is on my way to Kiseki fan meeting. You get to go to all the cool things, Yummy. And you're hoping the Chenyi and ID pillowcases have not been sold out. Yes, get the pillowcases. I want the pillowcases. Oh my gosh, if I get those pillowcases, I would probably take a picture of me sleeping with them and post them on my social media. I have to see it. Shipping is probably super expensive, right? I bet. I have an idea compilation, rules of BL do's and don't, but with fun titles. Do's and don't. Do's and don'ts. Would this be do lock the door? Do talk to your boyfriend if you see them hugging another person and don't ghost them. Corey says, I mean, you need those pillowcases. We all need those pillowcases. If people aren't familiar, they are selling pillowcases of Chenyi and ID from, I'm probably going to mispronounce this one too, Kiseki? There's I's and E's in there. We'll say Kiseki. That seems right. Book Lover asked top 3 BLs of 2023. Oh, what even aired? What all aired this year? I think My School President. Did that air last year though? Maybe it started last year and it went through this year. What else? People give me some ideas. I really liked I Feel You Linger in the Air. So it was a little slow in the beginning part, and then I felt it was a little rushed towards the end, but woo, that was really good. I really enjoyed I Feel You Linger in the Air. And there's supposed to be a special that is airing in, I think, one movie theater in Thailand in December. So hopefully we get an international release after that. But I'd love it if they do a season 2. So at first, I didn't really like the side plots in I Feel You Linger in the Air, but I ended up really liking some of the side characters and plots, and I really appreciate the writer or writers. I think there's more than one writer, because I feel for once they wrote women well. They were realistic, and their actions and reactions were realistic, and I really appreciate that. And they tackled some really serious issues that unfortunately still happen everywhere. So, and I thought they did a good job with those plots. So I'd love to see a season 2. That's probably one of my all-time for this year top ones. Oh, people are talking about their first BLs. Cool. Light on Me. Game Boys, 2021. People are talking about their first BLs. Beloved in House. I understand once you're into BL, it's a black hole and there's no way out. I mean, it was for me. It really gets you. It really gets you. It's addictive, I think. Which is okay as long as it doesn't interfere with, school or work and things. It's fine. Lita is a rewatch. I'm going to talk a little bit about Love in the Air. Color Rush. I have rewatched Color Rush too. Have I watched Good Omens? Asked by Lonely Blossom. Yes, I have, and I enjoyed it. And are they going to have a season 3 or not? I can't remember if they got a season 3 or didn't get a season 3, but I really want a season 3. The ending of season 2. Things were brewing. Things were happening. Claire says, I rewatched certain scenes from Lita. Does that count? I mean, yes, I think it does. It's a comfort watch, right? I've also rewatched certain scenes from Lita as well. Put my subs on what? What am I putting my subs on? Something probably that I've talked about. Oh, good, maybe Good Omens? I don't know. If I enjoy something, you'll probably see it in my videos and and my, I don't know what those are even called, captions or comments. They will make an appearance. Emoji. Also, if you put the CC on, the English CC, I call them EN or editor's notes. So I write my own kind of thoughts. And those are a little bit fun too, I think. But they're not on all the videos because I didn't start those right away. I think I started them in, I don't know, sometime in maybe 2022. Oh, my book interest did some research and it started last year and ended this year for my school president. Okay. Started in 2022 and ended in 2023. There's a lot. I think anime counts. Loveless. I don't think I've ever heard of that anime before. Maybe I'll write it down and look it up. I don't watch a lot of anime because I don't think there is a lot of BL anime out there, at least not officially on streaming platforms. It doesn't seem like there's that much. Okay, Lonely Blossom said that season 3 of Good Omens is written, but not greenlit. Yes, we need a season 3 for sure. I believe it's on Amazon Prime too. Amazon! Netflix, what are you two doing? Seriously. You need to, you have the money. They have the money. And actually, most of the BL series aren't that expensive because they're in our current world. Although I would like some more fantasy and sci-fi ones. Oh, my chat is definitely delayed. I'm also reading before. I'm like catching up. Sorry, I'm slow. I'm slowly going through them. Academic Purple said my editor notes are epic. Thank you. Love in Translation is Steamy from Sweet Villes. Is steamy and no one was expecting it. That's also on my list of things to talk about for steamy scenes. Love in Translation. Mm-hmm. They surprised everyone in a pleasant way. Definitely. Oh, interesting. Lonely Blossom said if Good Omens isn't greenlit, Neil Gaiman said he'd write a second book? Ooh. I get good vibes from Neil Gaiman, I have to say. Cool. I'd read the book. Rain asks, speaking fantasy, just finished episode 2 of The Sign. My thoughts. I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. I mean, we're only two episodes in, and I think it has 12 episodes. So, you know, we've got a ways to go, but yeah, I thought it was fun. Not everything is the most realistic, and I'm not talking about the fantasy elements, but I mean, I actually don't really care if the situations aren't as real. Well, sometimes I do care if the situations are realistic, but for that series, it didn't bother me. Lonely Blossom's talking about Good Omens season 3. It's enjoyable. You should go watch it. There are some major content warnings, though. So there are a few parts that I had to kind of skippity skip, fast forward a little bit. I'm definitely more of a rom-com person, so there are some parts in Good Omens that were a little tricky to watch, but I got through them okay. Can't wait until 2026. The Sign is a really good series. Please support it, everyone. I think they're doing a good job. I'm enjoying it. And I like that there's a fantasy element. I think that's kind of a nice aspect. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. What else? Oh, I was going to look at what else is currently airing that I'm enjoying. Okay, we've talked about The Sign. We talked about For Him. We've talked about Pit Babe. Those are 3 of mine. The Shadow is tricky because it's kind of airing, but it's not weekly. So we had the first half. When was that? The end of October, I think, right around Halloween. And then we're getting the second half in about 4 days, 5 days. So I'm looking forward to the second half. And I was a little nervous because I don't like horror, but if you're worried, it's more mystery thriller. It's not really, I wouldn't say horror or gore. So are we really getting BL in Shadow? I mean, I don't know. We could. I think we could. We won't know until the second half, though. But I hope we do. I honestly will be happy, though, if, the characters survive. I think I'll consider it a win. So, The Sign is not even close to being finished. It's just had its second episode, and I think they have 12. So we've got over 2 months. Cooking Crush? Yeah, I thought the first episode was fun. It's definitely a Thai rom-com. I mean, that's definitely what it is. Waiting for vampires to come. I think 2024 is going to be the year of vampires. It seems this year was the year of cooking, and we had a couple more horror type things. A lot of cooking, though. So maybe next year will be vampires. I'm for it. There really hasn't been much male romance with vampires, and a couple of things that I saw don't end well. So it would be great if there would be some kind of happily ever after. And there are definitely ways that they could do that. So Singto's character is sending mixed signals in shadow. Yes. I think he has internalized homophobia, but we'll see. We'll see if my guess is correct on that. What are my thoughts on Playboyy? I mean, we're still in the early part of the series. I think it has 14 episodes. And did we just have the third? I think we just had the third episode. Actually, I could kind of talk a little bit about steamy stuff and what works for me personally, what doesn't, because this is actually an example. So there was a lot of, I'll use the word steamy, NSFW scenes right at the beginning. And so it didn't work for me because I have no connection to the characters. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they want. I have nothing to connect to. So one of the things that I like about steamy scenes is if I'm connected to the characters and also their relationship with each other. So Playboyy was really tricky because there were a whole bunch of characters. I had no idea who anybody was, and they were all, getting it on with themselves or each other. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of improving a little bit for me now because I'm starting to understand, but I also don't like a lot of the characters. So that makes it tricky too, because I don't generally want to watch characters I don't like in a romance genre. I mean, there can be, there can be character growth and things, but so that's kind of where I'm at. I missed a bunch in the chat. Talking about vampires. Answer with no filter. I don't want to make people feel bad, but I am honest in my reviews on my drama list. So if you want my honest thoughts, then you can read my reviews on my drama list. Although I think for Playboyy, I just did the first impression review, so I'll update it around mid-airing probably, depends. But yes, if you like a series and other people don't like it, it's fine, right? It's fiction. So just ignore other people if they don't like what you like. It's fine. Expression. It was the long pause. It's fine if you love it. Good. Great. That's totally awesome. People like different things. That's fine. Oh, that's right. So that is true. The sound editing during some of the scenes was not for me. And also, the other thing was the English. Some of the characters just kind of break into English, and I don't like it. So I was trying to think why I don't like it, because sometimes a character speaks a line in English and it's fine. But I think what it is that unless you're super fluent, I mean, basically, unless you're multilingual, you've grown up with it, your brain has to concentrate on the other language that you're speaking. But your brain is also trying to concentrate on acting. So I'd rather an actor just focus on the acting, because if they're trying to speak in another language, now the brain is divided in between acting and speaking. So that kind of threw me with the English. And then there was Japanese too thrown in there. And I don't know. It wasn't for me. They definitely seem to be trying to go with some like camp, I guess I would call it, over the top stuff. You know, there was a bathtub in the yard with a bunch of flowers, which was interesting. But I mean, obviously that was on purpose. It's not as if they showed up somewhere and there was just a bathtub with a bunch of flowers in it and they shot the scene there. I mean, they purposely put a bathtub and flowers in a yard. So, you know, I think they're going for this kind of, I guess, exaggerated. And some people will like it and some people will not. So you might see it when it's done. That's all I think it's 14 episodes. So you have a while. It'll be done in what, 2.5 months? It'll take a while. And the plot is interesting. Claire says yeah, I am wanting to know what exactly has happened. That's true. It's cool. We like. Have I seen Lonely Blossom asks if I've seen Our Flag Means Death? Yes, I have. I have seen both seasons. I think it's on HBO Max. Maybe it's just called Max now. I don't know. Things change their name and I can't remember what the changes are. So yes, it's good. So this again, maybe it's kind of similar to Good Omens in that it's really good, but it has some major content warnings on it. So there are parts that were difficult to watch and I fast forwarded them. So in both seasons, actually, but the beginning of the second season, I think especially, there were some parts I had to kind of fast forward. But it's a really good series, and it has funny parts. Really, at least I think. I mean, I've laughed out loud, which actually doesn't happen all that often. So they have some really clever humor, I think. Again, everyone has different types of humor, but it worked for me. So yes, I'd recommend it. It's on, as I said, HBO Max. There might be a free trial. I think, what day is it? Second? There were Black Friday deals, but they might be done now. Some of them might still be going on though. So you might be able to snag a subscription for not that much money too. I think they had a deal for, was it 6 months? For $3 a month, but then it's a monthly subscription. So I think you could just watch it for a month and then cancel it, I think. Just make sure you put reminders on your phone or you'll keep having the subscription. That has happened to me before. All right, I'm catching up. Don't all rich people have bathtubs full of flowers in their yard? I don't know. I'm not one of them. I mean, I'm not a rich person, but I don't know. I don't really know a lot of, do I know anyone that's really super wealthy? I've never seen anyone have a bathtub full of flowers in their yard. I've seen people have, I don't know, old things have flowers, maybe like an old toilet. Sometimes people put flowers in that, but fun times. Yami says, as a Japanese speaker, loved it. See, this is a different perspective. Camp. I'm reading through things. Sweetville says there's Sahara Sensei to Toki-kun. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these things wrong. It's cute and funny. I'd recommend it. I thought the first episode was good. The high school teacher thing, we'll see. I'm just telling myself it's fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. So. You're all talking about K-pop, aren't you? BL and K-pop, there's a Venn diagram with a large center part that overlaps, I think. I got someone to watch Shadowhunters through a video with Alec and Magnus. Aren't they adorable, those two? They're one of my top favorite couples. I love those two so much. They really did not get a lot of screen time. So if you do want to watch the series, just know that they don't have a lot. There's probably people that have made videos, you know, their story, where they take the scenes and put them together. Oh, someone's grandma did it with flowers and had a bathtub full of flowers and loves it. Great. Beyond K-pop are friends. They are. Have I seen only one of BL Bump Up Business? I've seen everything, people. I've seen, well, not everything, but I've seen a lot. I've probably seen over 500 movies, shorts, and series that have male-male romance in them from every country, any country. I don't limit it to just certain countries. I'll watch from any country. So yes, I've seen it. I thought it was okay. It's tricky because a lot of the Korean BLs are short. They don't have a lot of screen runtime. And so in my mind, you can't have a lot of characters or a lot of different side plots. You really have to focus on your two leads and their story. And a lot of the KBL doesn't do that. So unfortunately, then the lead's romance is really rushed, or it's choppy, or it seems to end really abruptly. So I think it's kind of a problem with the screen time, that there just isn't enough time to develop the story and the characters. I'm reading up on the chat. I'm behind again. People loved Bump Up Business. Great, awesome. Seems like they went through some stuff professionally or personally, so I hope they got a lot of good things from doing the series. I'm reading up. What Chaz asks, what usually makes me decide to drop or to give up on a series? I really rarely drop a series because I try to do a review, as I mentioned, on pretty much everything. So if I want to give a more complete review, I need to watch the whole series. So it's pretty rare that I will actually totally drop a series. There have been times, though, that I've watched the first few episodes and then I kind of keep up with people's comments, and then I might watch the last 2 episodes because I just can't. I just can't do it. The things I don't like are slow pacing. I have a really difficult time if it's an hour episode and things are just not going anywhere. And I'm not talking about a slow burn. You can definitely do slow burns really well. But there are some series it's really challenging. It's really challenging to go through. But I do try to watch most of them all the way through. I also have an extension on my browser, and I can go as fast as I want on any video. So I have gone up to, I think, 5 times speed to get through it. I wasn't really reading. I can read pretty quickly, but I wasn't really reading the subtitles completely at that fast of a speed, but it really didn't matter. It didn't really matter. I'm once again behind all the chat things. Someone else responded, annoying characters or awful plots will make them drop. Yes. All right, should we get into some steamy? Some steamy ones? I don't know if the what was that I watched on 5 times speed or from something else. All right, let's get into the steamy thing. So I don't know, I just happened to group them by country. And this is not a comprehensive list. These are just a few of my favorite steamy scenes with timings for research purposes, people. So they're kind of grouped by country. So the recent one that was actually mentioned recently was Love in Translation. It is episode 6 towards the end, around 48 minutes. So I'm going to try to not be super spoilery here, but those two really, really went all over their store. And so why did I like it? I felt they had really good chemistry, and the hands were doing things, people. So something I look for is where hands are and how much body space there is. So there was a throat, I don't want to say a throat grab because that sounds kind of violent, but I don't know, hand on the throat, and then there was a hand over the mouth, and then there was a finger in the mouth. So yeah, I think that was one of my favorite steamy scenes. Love in Translation. I'm a godsend with the timings. When people ask me for timings in my compilation videos, I try to respond if I catch it. My grocery store scene. Yes, hand placement. So that was one. This one was also mentioned actually in the chat earlier, was Love in the Air. So specifically episode 4, around 47 minutes, and episode 6, around 29 minutes. And you need the uncut version. And I cannot remember which platform Love in the Air is on. I think it's on Viki, uncut. And then the YouTube has to be cut. But I thought they might have uploaded them separately officially on YouTube, but I can't remember. So I got to see my friend now. Oh, so I would love to do a compilation video of some of my all-time favorite, most steamy scenes in male romance. However, I would my video would either be age restricted, which means pretty much nobody can see it if it's age restricted, but most likely I would get a community strike, which is really bad. And if you get 3 strikes, YouTube deletes your channel and you can never have another YouTube channel ever again. So unfortunately, I will never make a compilation video of the steamiest scenes. So, but I'm going to tell you what they are. And with the timings, you can go and find them. So yes, Love in the Air. So part of the reasons that I liked it, again, I thought they had really good chemistry. Rain had some really good facial expressions during the scenes. I mean, I think they both did, but Rain specifically. And then it just had a good progression. It felt realistic, but also visually appealing. So those scenes were really good. I enjoyed that. Lita's on. Oh no, I forgot how to say it. Aishi, right? Iqiyyi, Aishi. Uncut and on Viki too. I think, yes, I'm pretty sure that Lita's on Love in the Air for people who are not sure what the LITA is. I think all shows on Aishi are uncut. I think so too. I don't think they have any cut versions. Generally, YouTube will have the cut version, and then Viki generally has the uncut, I think, and Gaga, I think, also will have the uncut, but I think there have been a few times that that's not true. Some people, I know, they get expensive. Oh, there's also the boardroom scene in the special episode. Yes, that's another good one too. There's a huge desk. We need more desks. Let's make use of more desks. What? Oh, for him, I think just had a big table too. Large tables. Those are fun. Mics were working properly in Lita. Yes, I also enjoy some natural sounds. So if it's just music, I don't know. It doesn't hook me as much. I like it when there's some natural noises, even some talking, because I don't think most people are totally silent during. So some realistic talking during is fun. I will say though, you can have too much noise, because I think it's Dinosaur Love was the kissing. I also think it wasn't in sync. That wasn't great, but it was loud slurping noises. And I just didn't find it aesthetically pleasing to hear slurping noises when kissing. So I guess there's some kind of, balance here of music and natural noises. It sounds like a good idea for compilation desks, tables. What would it be? Bend him over, ... That will also get age restricted, people. Lockers. Yes, I have an idea for a locker compilation. Good idea. Don't get me kicked off YouTube, everybody. That won't be good. Okay. And then Thailand, the Kin Porsche, I think it's the second bathroom scene, the one with the sink. And I believe there's a mirror. It's episode 7. I wrote end and I wrote 56 minutes. So I think it's at 56 minutes or somewhere towards the end of episode 7. I liked that because the cinematography was beautiful. It had really cool lighting, and just the camera work and the expressions were good. And that scene just really worked for me. So that's from Kin Porsche, episode 7. Okay, so for Japan's interesting because Japan has a lot of fluffy, super G-rated fluffy things, and then sometimes they go all in. So the first that I have written down is The Novelist. This goes by another title that I am not saying because YouTube might be really picky, and please don't type it in the chat either. I don't know how picky they are. It is episode 5, around 10 minutes. There are actually a few scenes that I enjoyed, but that's probably my favorite one. And it involves a desk. It's really good. Again, there's music, but it's not overpowering. There's really good facial expressions, and it's a really good scene. Destiny Seeker. I did have it on the list, but then I was trying to kind of balance out the countries. Destiny Seeker. And also Destiny Seeker doesn't unfortunately have an international release. I think you have to use a VPN to Thailand. And what platform is it on? Is it on WeTV? I don't even know if it has subtitles officially. So you knew The Novelist was happening as soon. Well, I had it, to be fair, I also had it on the thumbnail. The Novelist for the live. The Cornographer. Yes. Just change one letter and you're good to go. If you look it up on Viki under The Novelist, I'm pretty sure you can find it. So that one's really good. The End of the World with You, the beginning of episode 2, and then a few minutes later, there's a second one. So it starts at the beginning of episode 2, and then just keep watching because then there's a second one, and those are really good too. I don't know what to say about it. They have some, again, good communication during that I enjoyed. It felt realistic, but it didn't take me out of the scene at all. And yes, that was one of my favorites. And then I threw in one. There are a few. Actually, I realized all three of these are on Gaga Ooh La La. So this one's also there. And I'm pretty sure this one's called a pink film. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but I think it means something that's really steamy or that has some really steamy things in it. So this one's called Macho Caponata, and it's right at the beginning. So this is interesting because I said that I don't always like when it starts right away. But this, I don't know, that one was done really well. And then at 9 minutes as well. I think it's a movie, so it's not a series, so there's not episodes with it. But that has, I think, another one or two. But there are a few of these movies on Gaga Ooh La La, and that's Macho Caponata is one of them. And the only thing, though, is those actors must have really hated the sand. That sand must have gone everywhere. I think it's one of those things that looks really aesthetically nice, but if you were to do that in real life, it would not be very pleasant. Kind of the same thing as in a shower. Seems really nice, but then someone's always cold, unless you have more than one shower head. Someone's cold and shivering and stuff's getting washed away anyway, but they still look really nice, or they can look really nice when you see it on screen anyway. TMI. All right, we're going to Taiwan next. So yeah, feel free to put your own in from the country I'm talking about too. Sand for Macho Caponata. I haven't talked about OnlyFriends yet. Yeah, I didn't put them. I mean, they had a lot of scenes in OnlyFriends. I didn't add them in. I'm not really sure what didn't quite hook me on it. If it was, sometimes if a scene is really, what do I call that? Fast, or like the camera angles switch a lot, then I don't get into it as much. So that could have happened with OnlyFriends, but they did have quite a few on there. So that could definitely be on the list too. Okay, so from Taiwan, I had Make Our Days Count, episode 6. Oh, and I think these episodes, I'm talking about the 10. There are two versions, or two episode. On one, they did 10, and then the other one, they broke them in half, and so there's 20. So I'm talking about the 10 episodes. So in episode 6, at the beginning is the side couple. I think it actually is at the end of episode 5 as well. And then at 14 minutes, it's the main couple. And at episode 8, 22 minutes. And at episode 9, 11 minutes. And I have never watched, and I never will, episode 10. You can come for me if you want, but it's not happening, people. It ends at episode 9, and that's my headcanon. That's the way it goes. So, yes, there were several steamy scenes in Make Our Days Count with the main couple and the side couple. I also wrote down Papa and Daddy, season 1, episode 2, around 13 minutes. I really liked that scene as well. So if you haven't watched that series, you should go watch it. And then you can let me know in another live at some point if you thought it was a really nice one too or not. Right or Wrong. Did Right or Wrong, I think, did have one kind of steamy scene in it? I think. From South Korea, I have 3 that are all from the same production company. So they're all from Strongberry. I think they're all from Strongberry. And I think they're all on Gaga Ooh La La. But they're also on the Strongberry YouTube. If you pay for a month membership, I think you can watch these there too. So one is called Sweet Curse. And I didn't put the timing down because it's a short. So you can watch the whole thing. It's not very long. I think it happens middle end of the short movie. So it's a little choppy / confusing, but there is a scene in there and things happen. People are pushed onto a bed and there is no visible underwear, people. So good for them and the actors. And then another short is called Some More. That's one of my all-time favorite short movies, Some More. Takes place in the countryside, and it's towards the end of that one, but it's a short movie, so I didn't put the timing down. Strongberry for the win. Sweet curse. I don't know what to say. You have to watch it. I don't want to spoil things too much, people. Go watch it. And then Long Time No See, around 23 minutes. It was first released, I think, as a series of 5 episodes, but now it's normally put together as a movie. I think as a movie, it's maybe an hour and a half long. And so there's a couple scenes in there, but the one around 23 minutes is my favorite. And I'm not going to say more. I don't want to spoil anything. It's a really good movie. It does have some content warnings, but you can fast forward on certain parts if that kind of thing you don't enjoy. You can watch Sweet Curse on Gaga Ooh La La. You can also buy, I think, all of Strongberry's stuff on Vimeo. So you can actually own it and watch it as much as you want. And have I watched all 3 of these multiple times? Yes. Yes, I have. I've watched all 3 of these multiple times. And then the Philippines, I put down Game Boy's movie at 1 hour and 30 minutes. And also if it's the Game Boy's movie is a shortened version of the season 2. So if you watch the season 2, it's episode 8, around 30 minutes. And I really liked that scene because there was some really excellent consent that happened during. It was just very lovely. It was a very lovely, loving communication was happening, people. It was very beautiful. It was just a nice steamy scene. And where can you get the movie and the season? I think it depends where you're at. I think you can watch the season. It's not in the US, though. You need a VPN, maybe to Europe, I think works for season 2. I think the movie you might be able to buy on Amazon too. Maybe some people will put that. But if you go to the World of BL website, I don't run it, but I think they have the links for both of those where for probably links. They probably have the links for everything I talked about, except I don't think they have short movies. So they wouldn't have the Sweet Curse or Some More. But you can get those on Vimeo or on Gaga Ooh La La, or you can go to the Strongberry, like a Strongberry PR person. You can go to the Strongberry YouTube and become a member for a month, and you can watch, I think, all of their stuff you can watch. So those were some of my favorite steamy scenes with timings. And if interested and you want more, you can let me know in the chat and I can, there's more. And do I have timings for all of them? What do you all think? Yes. Yes, I do. People are talking about, I missed a bunch in the chat while I was talking. Sorry. People are talking about Choco Milkshake season 2. I hope it happens too. It sounds that they're putting out a different series first. So I do hope we get a second season of Choco Milkshake. And we all want Uncle to get a name. Yes, Uncle we need a name. He needs a name. I don't like Uncle as part of a couple name. Let's get a name for him. Let's see, I'm reading through. Oh, and the interesting thing with Long Time No See, I heard an interview, I think it was the director, and they didn't have much money, and they filmed just really long hours to try to get this thing filmed. And the actors sounded as if they were really tired. They were exhausted, and I feel bad that they were exhausted during the shoot. But on the plus side, the director said he thinks that's why their scenes, their intimate scenes, worked really well, because they didn't have the nerves or the embarrassment. They were too exhausted to be embarrassed about things, and they just went for it. So that's a little random tidbit that I found somewhere on the internet. I have no idea what interview that was, so I can't give you the source for it, but I'm pretty sure it was the director that said that. Let's see. Semantic Error season 2 needs to happen. It does. And you know what? I'm kind of upset because maybe it did happen, but I really wanted them to have everything written for season 2 and all of the pre-production stuff done so that they could start filming right away. But I don't get the sense this has happened. Maybe they couldn't sign a contract until he's out of the military, but anyway. Yes, I agree. Semantic Error season 2 needs to happen. But you know what? Well, okay, I do want a season 2 of Semantic Error, and as well as some other series. Trapped. So I am kind of nervous though. What if they wreck? What if it gets ruined, people? We don't have a great track record with sequels. At least a lot of the sequels I haven't enjoyed. So it makes me a little nervous because I don't know, but I do want a second season of Semantic Error. I just don't want them to have pointless love triangles or ghosting in a second season. Just, they left us off at a good spot, and we need to see a little bit more progression, perhaps. Just keep going with their relationship. What are my thoughts on Kiseki Dear To Me? Again, I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. I enjoyed it. I mean, I really enjoyed the second couple. I liked the lead couple as well, but I liked the second couple. ID was really unique, I thought, as a character, because a lot of characters we see are very kind of a cookie cutter. They have a very similar personality, and I thought ID had a unique personality, but his actions and reactions made sense to me. So there were some things that seemed kind of opposite within his characteristics, but they all made sense. And I really ended up liking. I mean, I made multiple videos. I made shorts. I made a little bit longer one as one of my, I think it was around 5 minutes of some of my favorite scenes, and then I changed some of the subtitles and added my captions and things. But I'm not lying, everybody. When I saw that scene on Gaga Ooh La La, I mean, I was probably watching at like 1.5 speed also. But when he said, I thought about you, Chenyi says, I thought about you the whole time you were inside. That's the sentence. I thought about you the whole time you were inside. I really thought he meant inside him. And an hour after the episode finished, I was thinking more about it. And I realized he meant inside prison. Oh, I laughed. That was, and I don't think I was the only one. Okay. I think other people thought that too. The subtitles were different though, if you saw it on different platforms. And I think all the other subtitles specifically said inside prison. But, the Gaga Ooh La La just left it at inside. And they had just shown a flashback right before that, to their night of passion. So, yeah, some people really love the main couple more, which is cool, which is great. Some people probably love them both equally, and some people liked, the second couple more. People are asking for a second season of Our Dining Table. I wonder if they have a source material. Maybe it goes past the first season. I would enjoy a second season of Our Dining Table. Thoughts on A Breeze of Love? Yeah, I thought it was cute. A Breeze of Love might have had... I've watched so many things now. Some of them kind of blend together. But I think in my review of that, I wrote, there was one plot point I really didn't like. So that was the only thing that, if that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm thinking of a different Korean BL. It's totally different. Clutches pearls. I don't know what I said to make you clutch your pearls. Maybe who's your favorite couple? Breeze of Love was charming, endearing, heartwarming. People liked it. Yummy got the Chenyan ID pillowcases. Wait, are you at this fan meeting right now on your phone? Oh my gosh. So cool. Yay. I'm so happy you got the pillowcases. Was Cherry Blossoms After Winter this year? No, Cherry Blossoms After Winter aired not in 2023. I almost want to say not in 2022. I kind of want to say it was 2021, but I'm not sure off the top of my head when that aired. Yeah, everyone's saying, yeah, I mean, that's great. Game Boys is on Netflix. Awesome. I think it depends on the country, though. So a lot of things are dependent on where you live, unfortunately. But there are some, VPNs that you can, I think some have free, you can use a certain number of times a day for free or something like that. I pay for a VPN, and it's in a bunch of my descriptions, because I do use the VPN to watch some things. Yummy also bought the Beloved in-House novel and the plus and minus, is it satchel? Ooh, cool. We're all living vicariously through Yummy's purchases. Those pillowcases, I tell you, I need to see if they're available and how much the shipping is. I really don't have that many physical items. I have some things I bought. Our dining table I bought digitally, so I have a few of those that are available digitally, but I don't have a lot of physical items. I bought the Cherry Magic movie Blu-ray. I don't know where it is now, though. It's somewhere in the house. But there was no streaming platform for it, and I really wanted to watch it, so I did spend the money and get it shipped. The shipping actually was really, it's expensive, but it was really fast. I think it arrived 2 days after I ordered it. So I did not expect it to be that fast. It was fast shipping, though. Yummy is everyone's hero. Oh, the fan meet starts in an hour. You're at the venue on your phone. There's some great stuff on Etsy. Ooh, fan-made stuff. Someone thought the Achi body pillow in Be My Superstar was cringe, but the ID and Chenyu pillows are cute, Corey says. I can't really remember the pillow in Be My Superstar, honestly. It's not really coming to my mind. So a few announcements, and we can wrap things up in a little bit, but if you have a couple more questions, go ahead and type them in. So if you'd like to support me, you can always write nice comments in my videos. I read them all. Thank you. I also have a coffee page, and I have a website, and there's a special 40% discount. I'll put the coupon code in the description of this live. I was going to do it before, but then I was worried I was going to mess up the live. So I didn't want to mess it up. So I decided I would just put it in. But I have some guides for different streaming platforms. I have one for free stuff, so mostly things on YouTube that you can watch for free. I think I have over 300 things on there. So movies and short movies and series. So if you want to get a guide for yourself or for somebody else, they're 40% off for the whole month. So you can have a early holiday present. The code is DEC40. So that's what the code is that you enter. But I'll put the links again after this live is done. And the live will, at some point, it gets captioned, and then I go in and edit the caption, so that it usually takes a couple days. So I think I'll be live though as soon as I stop the recording. I think it goes on YouTube like magic. So you can rewatch as well if you didn't get the timings, if you didn't write them down for some really good steamy scenes. You can watch later. Maybe I'll even timestamp them too. I think I timestamped the last lives, but so I'll probably timestamp this one as well. I'm reading through. Can't wait for Cherry Magic. Oh yes, what are you looking forward to? We don't actually have a lot of series on the horizon, I don't think. Seems that December is a bit quiet, which maybe is good because we have, yes, I think we have 19 or 20 currently airing series. We have a lot that's airing right now. Oh, and I forgot one. I didn't mention a couple of my other favorites. I actually am really enjoying 7 Days Before Valentine. It's, again, we're only on episode 3, so we're 2. I think we just saw 2. I think we've only seen 2 episodes, and I think that one might be 12 episodes as well. So it might just totally go off the rails at some point, but I'm enjoying it right now, and I'm hoping it's a whole kind of butterfly effect type thing. So we'll see, but I think that one's good. And I also am watching Heaven Official's Blessing on Crunchyroll. So that's a animated series from China, and it's censored, but there are definitely hints, and it's based on a BL novel. I mean, it's the source material is there's romance in it. And I kind of read that book, but it is long. It is so long. So I really don't remember a lot of stuff anymore because it was really, it's very intricate. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of plot. There's a lot of backstory. There's flashbacks that happen. So, but that's another series that I'm enjoying right now as well. I can't wait for Cherry Magic 2. That's starting, isn't that starting in a few days? Was it the 6th? I don't know. It's starting sometime in December, right? People are saying what they got. Oh, IKEA has the Kinporish Lita bed sheet comforter set at IKEA. Well, that's fun. Rahale has watched all the BLs possible, and now you're bored. Can you go back and rewatch? I mean, go and find some favorites. People are loving The Sign. Watching. Are bromances, does that mean bromance is worse than BL? I mean, it depends for me. Depends how. So I make a distinction between bromance, censored BL, and BL. So bromance it's not intended to be a romantic relationship. A censored BL is based on BL material, but due to laws cannot be shown explicitly. So they might not be able to confess their undying love for one another, but they might do things, I don't want to give too many clues away, but there are definite hints in the censored BL as to what the relationship is, and it's not friends. So, and then obviously then BL is not censored, and they show things such as, kissing and confessions and that whole thing. So for me, it depends. I can really like censored BL, but it's how it's done. So if they change one of the characters, if they change a lead to be a woman in a censored BL, then that's not going to work for me. But I thought the Untamed and Word of Honor did a good job, and Stay With Me too. Did a good job. So, and I'm enjoying Heaven Official's blessing as well. Let's see. Enjoying all 12 shows. Nice. Chaz says. Corey says, can only watch 4 at a time. Behind. You'll probably be able to catch up soon, though. There really isn't that much new stuff starting in December. A lot of series are wrapping up. And so far, it doesn't seem that January will have a whole bunch of things either. So, and again, a lot more is wrapping up in January, too. So if anyone's feeling really behind, I think you'll be able to catch up in the next couple of months, which might be good or it might be bad if you were hoping there was more things to watch. Oh No, Here Comes Trouble is a good bromance. Watch it. Did I watch that one? I think I did, and it was good. I mean, I can like bromance as well. It depends how. I like a lot of anything that has, good chemistry, even if it's not romantic. If it's, I enjoy comedy, so if it's a funny, I watch romance from many different countries, and queer, straight, all of it. Stay With Me is the best. Killer Healer and Devil Judge. I watch both of those. Yes, Devil Judge was really good. That was stepbrother trope. Stay With Me managed to be steamy somehow. There were a lot of hints. I mean, if you're not looking, you might not see them, but there were a lot. That was not chapstick, everybody. It was not chapstick. Don't tell others, like China government officials, but it wasn't chapstick. Was not chapstick. Our Story from Vietnam. Do you mean Our Story from the Philippines? I Can't Reach You. I did see I Can't Reach You. It was cute. The Blackout Kiss. I think that's from Stay With Me, I'm guessing. Stand By Me. Stand By Me is the most queer bromance I have watched. We watched it 5. I don't think I've seen Stand By Me. I've seen Stay With Me. There are a lot of stays. We had 4 different things with stay in the title for a while. It was a little confusing. 3 or 4. I haven't seen Stand By Me. I should write that down. Stand By Me. Oh, you think of Mr. Cinderella 2. I didn't watch Mr. Cinderella 2. It's on I need to go back and binge it. But it seemed a bit more serious. So for things that are really serious in general, I would prefer to binge them to move through the seriousness, and hopefully there's fluff at the end. Like get through and then go to the fluffy part at the very end. So, all right. I'm going to wrap this up. Did anyone want to type in some ideas for video compilations, the longer ones, the 5-minute ones? If you want to put your ideas in, I'll take a look through them. I have my idea for my next 5-minute compilation, which isn't this Monday, it's the following Monday, but it's going to be some of my favorite morning after scenes. I'm excited. And hopefully it doesn't get age restricted. I don't think it will, though. Now, if I showed the night before, then it definitely would get age restricted. But I think I'll be okay with the morning after scene. So there's going to be some cuddles. There's going to be some kisses. There's going to be one with aftercare. I'm trying to think. I kind of already looked through the ones. I'm not sure if there is one with aftercare. I'll look through and see. There aren't a ton of aftercare scenes too, unfortunately. Sounds awesome. Yes, it's going to be a fun video, everyone. So any other ideas that you have for videos, you can let me know. You can also type in the comments after the live is done too. The comments will be available, so you can type in there if you had some ideas. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure this year if I'll do a holiday, winter, Christmas themed one. I did one 2 years ago, and then last year I did, what was the title? Something with gift. I think it was he gave him a big gift. Was hidden agenda. I think that's one of the ones that's on my list. So the tricky thing is that there's a lot. Well, there's not a lot, but there are more than 5 minutes of morning after. So if people enjoy it and it does well, I'll do a second one at some point in the future. I've repeated, I'm sure people have maybe noticed, I have repeated some of my themes. I've repeated the consent one because I like consent. So I don't know that there's that many series. I can't do a compilation. I wish I could, on the word that starts with an S and ends with an X. I mean, it would definitely get age restricted, and I'd probably get a strike on the YouTube channel. They're very particular, and it's tricky because I've had videos that were age restricted and they don't tell me which part or parts is the problem. So I don't even know moving forward, I don't even know what exactly the issue was. So it's a little tricky. Although I have now I've learned to upload them as shorts and then see which ones get age restricted on that, and then figure that's probably the problem spot. I'm not going to judge anyone for how many BLs you watched, because I don't even know how many I watched when I first got into it, but it was a lot. It was a lot in a short time frame. I went back and watched everything I could. Okay, Academic Purple is saying yes, a Christmas themed one, Jingle Bells All the Way. I'll write it down. I think I have enough scenes. It's one of those things too that sometimes there's not enough scenes, or they're sometimes they just don't work the way I want them to. Sometimes they're a little bit too serious and I wanted it to be a little bit more funny, or I can't find the humor. So we'll see. We'll see if I have enough to do a holiday. Yeah, no one has the right to judge you. I agree. Couples dancing together. So dancing together. I actually thought about doing not really a music video, but just I like that. Putting together a bunch of really fun segments of because there are so many ones. But they're really not kissing. So that's kind of sad. I'm not a video fan, but it's nice. It's fiction, so it's fine. Stepbrother trope. Stepbrothers. There is crossing the line as the secondary couple are stepbrothers. And there's also history for those that are still my favorite stepbrother one, but there are stepbrothers in that. And then there's the stepbrothers. I think that would fall under that category. know if there are that many scenes they show. There's one in Toki-kun with Kimi that is hilarious. There's this waterfall. I think we actually have one in Compilation already. You hear me properly? Oh, well, maybe I'll end it as the audio is weird. So, I don't know what's going on, but it's being strange.